to share this week. And we figured with the dead of summer is finally here, at least in New England, we're seeing some sunshine. We wanted to talk about the heat and the heat strokes and the sunburns and all the different things that impact everybody this time of year. So I will turn things over to Dr. Alex, and she can say hello to everyone, and we'll get on with it. Dr. Alex, it's all
Hi,
you.
everyone. Hi. I'm sure for the people that are over the side of the world in Europe, everybody knows that Europe is under a massive heat wave, except Ireland and UK, but that's another story.
Not so much.
Greece is burning. Portugal is, all Europe is at the moment, all countries are with really, really high temperatures, and there are a lot of animals and people suffering. So we just thought that it would be good to talk about a few remedies and to give a few tips as well, so that people can cope easier. So the first remedy that I would like to talk about is Belladonna. Belladonna is well known from its redness, radiating heat, being fevers, being throat aches is a huge keynote for this remedy. And usually the parts, they look smooth and shining red. Well, that's exactly what happens when you get sunburned. We get shining red, radiating heat coming from the affected parts. So, and when we put the hand on the affected part, it feels like burning to the touch. We get characteristic of sunburning. So therefore, if somebody gets sunburn with these characteristics and on top has a throbbing, pulsating headache, Belladonna is the remedy to go to. Now, because Belladonna, as I mentioned, when people are exposed to high temperatures and in the sun, the majority of people will get this type of symptoms. Belladonna is really a good remedy to use as prophylaxis. So when there are extreme high temperatures and people and animals suffering, if they are not on constitutional treatment, Belladonna is a wonderful remedy. You can put it in farms, in the water troughs, for the horses, for the cows, for goats, for chicken, for the people as well. They can take Belladonna, put a few pellets in a bottle of water and sip it throughout the day. It will help you cope. Now, having said that, please don't give a Belladonna to the kids and then let them go out in the sunshine
just because they've had Belladonna.
Just because they had Belladonna. No,
right.
It doesn't work like that. But it will help a lot of people to cope with this high, dry, extreme heat.
Extreme heat. Being a redhead, I spent much of my childhood beet red in the summer. And I think about how many times I was just kind of out of it. And that's one of the things that you see with Belladonna too, is that they get delirious. Even the animals, they, might be acting very strangely if they've been exposed to too much heat and too much sun. And I have a couple of Belladonna people in my family. It's their constitution. And they say the craziest things when they get a really high fever. And you just kind of like, oh yeah, they need belladonna. So even when you see really strange, odd behavior out of an animal that's been overheated, that's another good indication that belladonna is the remedy you want to go to. So
The other,
good.
so the other remedy I would like to talk about is Urtica Urens. And Urtica Urens is fantastic because you can use it as a remedy or you can use it as a
Oh,
is
there she
is a slight burn, you know, it's a first degree burn, and there is this burning and stinging on the sensitive skin. Sometimes, you know, you put sun protector, but you forget to spread it really well, and there will be some parts that go a little bit, you know, more
You miss
burn.
a spot. Yeah.
Yeah, you miss a spot, and then it's that part becomes really stinging and hurting. Urtica urens can be taken internally, or the tincture is fantastic. Just put a few drops, like 10 drops, in a compress and apply it to the burned area, and it helps to relieve the pain. The third remedy is Cantharis, and Cantharis, it is for serious burn. And it's for burns that, you know, either they start blistering or you know it's gonna blister. It's really, really serious burns. And there will be prickling pains and sharp pains as well as a burning sensation. It's a wonderful remedy as well if you pour boiling water on your hand. Again,
yeah, I was just going to say it's great for scalds. Yeah, scalding and that sort of thing. And what animals do we see? I think of pigs when they're out in the sun too much, that they're really susceptible to the sun because they have more bristles on their body than they do the fur, like a horse. I know that some cows can be very, very sensitive. If they're out a long time, they can show some signs of burning. But I think of animals that have really fine or thin hair.
And humans that go to the beach and fall asleep in the sun. Not that they want to, not that they want really to get sunburned, but
no.
It just so happened, you know, and they fall asleep in the sun. When they wake up, oh my God.
Yeah.
So,
and you can't move because everything hurts. Yeah.
Exactly. So
you know,
instead of being a scalding from hot water, is a scalding from the sun.
From the
and
sun, yeah.
There you go with Cantharis, a great remedy.
The other thing that comes to mind with Cantharis, and this has certainly been with my son who has red hair and very pale skin, when he gets a bad sunburn, and Dr. Alex has seen a little bit of evidence of that recently, he is the Cantharis poster child. He looks like a lobster when he gets burned. So for those of us that live in areas that eat lobster, then you'll know what I'm talking about, where you are so red, you're so bright red and so burned that it hurts to even breathe. Cantharis is the remedy that you want to go with. And drink lots of water. You always want to drink a ton of water after a sunburn, because we lose our skin is our biggest organ, and that's where we lose the most of our moisture in our water. And when we're burned, the skin continues to heat. So it continues to go through a lot of the fluids. It's really, really important to stay hydrated.
I would add to that instead of just drinking water, I would put cell salts, the bioplasm, because if you're drinking just pure water, the water is not going to be as well absorbed. And I would add a little bit of Himalayan salts and a little bit of honey. And like that, you really, really hydrate. It's, you know, just even as a routine, you know, you're going to go to the beach, and for the kids, just prepare a bottle, put the bioplasma add a bit of Himalayan salts, a little bit of honey, and have them drink that. You can even prepare a little bottle, drinking bottle for each kid and one for yourself. It's
And
really, really good.
on
It
that
prevents a
note,
lot of headaches.
yes, it
as
does,
well.
which is really important. That's where people, I think, realize all of a sudden that they are dehydrated is because they get a headache. Thinking of the animals, the bioplasma is fantastic for them as well. You can add bioplasma to their drinking water. And it, depending on the size, like if you have a big trough and you have a lot of animals that drink from that, don't hesitate to put 10, 12, 20 pellets in there if it's really, really big, if you're dealing with like a 300-gallon tank for several horses. Drop them in there. They're going to dissolve almost instantly because they're like powder. And stir it up, and the next time you refresh their trough, don't hesitate to toss in more. The cell salts make a huge difference for the animals. And like with electrolytes, when you have small animals, baby animals, you're wanting to get electrolytes and things into them that are going to increase and strengthen and provide the support for their vital force. And whenever there's a lot of heat and a lot of sun, the body is working extra hard. So we want to do everything we can to support it.
Absolutely. So now moving a little bit from sunburn to sunstroke, which makes part, most people are sunstroke and sunburn, but many people get sunstroke and they are not sunburn. So with sunstroke, which when we have these extreme high temperatures, usually is what happens, and not so much sunburn, we have 3 amazing remedies. The first one that I want to talk about is a remedy that most people will not think of using it for sunstroke, but it's extremely helpful, and it's needed much more commonly than what we think. And that remedy is Gelsemium. So Gelsemium is very easy to spot. So the person is sunstroke, but although she's sunstroke, she's shaking and trembling and might even say, I'm cold. Even if they are sunburned and you can see the heat and the redness in their body, they might start shivering and feeling cold and shaking. And they can be not shivering, but very sleepy and prostrated. And the main thing that it has to be present is that although they are sunstroke, they were exposed to the sun or sunburn and sunstroke, or they dehydrated completely, they are not thirsty at all. They will not want to drink. And that is Gelsemium. Now, Glonoinum is sunburn or sunstroke with a bursting headache. So remember, Glonoinum is very close to Belladonna and can be confused with Belladonna. But while in Belladonna, you will have a throbbing headache, with Glonoinum is a bursting headache. It's like, oh God, it's going to explode. And that is Glonoinum.
Can I ask a quick question, Dr. Alex? Yeah. Do you, with the Glonoinum and the bursting headache, I know the throbbing and the bursting is really extreme. Does that tend to have the nausea and vertigo that go with it as well? I know sometimes some people get. Okay.
It can have, okay, but it will not be an indication of Glonoinum, because you can have nausea with Belladonna, you can have nausea with Gelsemium, you can have nausea with many other remedies.
The heat stroke, though, makes, it just makes me wonder with the bursting headache if somebody's actually going to have the nausea and the vomiting. I know.
the person will hold the head and they will press the head because there will be a massive pressure going from inwards outwards. So it's a bursting headache.
Okay.
And the face might be red as well because there has to be congestion. It's a
Okay.
remedy full of congestion.
Yeah, and one of the keynotes is fascinating. It's headache with protrusion of eyeballs. So
yeah,
the
and
eyes look bigger, like they're sticking out of the head because, like you
yeah,
said, there's
it's
pressure
bursting.
from the inside, the bursting that's coming out. Yeah, that's very interesting.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Now, with Glonoinum, is like the eyes are protruding. With Belladonna, the eyes will be shining and they will have the pupils dilated.
Yes.
The eyes might even have like a gazing,
They
like
do.
they're
They look
burnished,
glazed over, like they're kind
but
of
the
staring off to
pupils will
pace.
be dilated. So the eye almost will look black because the pupils can dilate quite a lot.
And that's a very
Yeah.
very important distinction when you're dealing with animals, because they're not going to be able to tell you that their head is
Yeah,
bursting.
it's bursting, exactly.
And what was the last remedy
Um,
that you had talked about?
well, the one that everybody knows about and goes to when there is headaches
Sunstroke.
that are pounding out and that they don't do well in the sun, which is Natrum muriaticum.
So
So
tell
with
us,
Natrum muriaticum, there will be again throbbing, pounding headaches from being out in the sun, but you will not see the redness and the congestion and the dilated pupils of Belladonna. And usually Natrum muriaticum, they will be very thirsty. They will want to drink. And with Belladonna, they might be thirsty, but they will be thirsty for sour things, usually lemon juice or lemonade. That's what makes them feel better.
what would an animal go for? Obviously, if it's nat mur, they're going to go for regular water. But what would an animal go for that was thirsty for Belladonna? Would you see them eating more? Would you?
The Natrum muriaticum animal will drink much more than a Belladonna animal.
Okay, like
they
a
will
lot
be
more.
on the ball, all
Yeah.
the time.
Okay.
On the
They'll
troughs.
stay right at the
The
water.
dog, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Fantastic. That's great. There were a couple of other remedies that I had shared when I posted something a couple of weeks ago. I think it was Susan Walker that was kind enough to ask. She has a variety of animals at her farm, and she works with animals too. She's a farrier, so she's out seeing, farm animals all day long. And a couple of the other remedies that came up were Lachesis is actually excellent for treating headaches from sun exposure, especially if they're worse on the left side. They feel worse after waking. So when they first get up in the morning, you might see the animals really dizzy and unsure on their feet from a headache from sun exposure if they've been out too much. And one of the others is Carbo Veg. They can collapse from excessive heat. And I know it's hard with animals in the heat because they might want to lay down and they might be laying under the shade. But if you see them go down hard, if you see them actually collapse and they look like they're in a collapsed state, even though we think of Carbo Veg as a cold remedy, it's a collapsed state. The corpse reviver, I think, is one of the keynotes that we talk about with Carbo Veg, and they want to be fanned. So if you have fans in the barn, you might find that the cow has made its way over and it's standing and hogging the fan. I've seen that happen at fairs before when we go to the biggest county or the biggest state fair that we have here in Maine. there are some of the cattle in the barns when it gets super hot in the middle of the day, and you can see them pushing the other cow out of the way because they want to be in front of the fan. And I feel like I should walk around with remedies in my pocket sometimes at some of these fairs. I think the last two remedies talk about bryonia, the severe headache made worse by the slightest motion. How can we see that in an animal? With bryonia, there's thirst as well, correct? And
True, but the animal will not move to go and drink because it doesn't want to move at all.
okay.
Although, I mean, to be honest with you, I didn't really use bryonia in sunstrokes. I mean, I lived in Greece for 15 years and I dealt a lot in these circumstances with a lot of animals, including animals that have been badly burned in fires during these heat waves in Greece. And the main remedies that was Belladonna, Cantharis, Gelsemium, and occasionally Natrum muriaticum if they were really, really thirsty.
Okay.
And Glonoinum, occasionally Amylenum Nitrosum, but most of the times Glonoinum
What was the one that you said just before
was great.
Glonoinum? You said occasionally.
Amylenum Nitrosum. Amylenum Nitrosum.
I don't know that remedy. Is it
Amylenum Nitrosum.
AMEL?
It's AMYL and then nitrosum.
Okay. I'm gonna okay. I'll look it up and I'll share it with everybody.
Sure it's a remedy that is very effective for heat flushes as well.
Effective for what?
Anything that the person feels ignited with heat flushes. Amylenum Nitrosum is a good remedy.
Okay, fantastic.
Are there any questions? Because I cannot see anyone. I mean, I cannot see what's going on in
I've been watching and we haven't had any comments this time. I think we do have one person that has just recently jumped in, but we haven't had any questions this time. And what I'll do is I'll share the list of remedies, just the names of the remedies. And then when you guys are ready, if you want to go back over and get a better sense of what it is that we shared, if you go back through the video, then you'll have all of the names in front of you and you'll be sure to get the right thing. As always, if you have any questions, if there is something that is critical, time sensitive, don't just post it on the page, do post it on the page, but also reach out to one of us if you have something that is time sensitive or critical. If you have an animal that's down that needs help, you can absolutely reach out to us. We'll do our best to respond. Both of us are on the page every day and checking out and looking for messages from everybody. And we are also reachable through Homeopathy United, and you'll find us. We have a Facebook page, and I believe our contact information is also on this page, and I'm just going to pull it up really quickly so that everybody can see how to find us. I'm just trying to click all the right buttons. Let's see. There it is. Okay, fantastic. So this is how you reach Dr. Alex or myself. My number is in the US and hers is in the UK through WhatsApp, and Homeopathy United at Gmail. You can always connect with us there. And on our Linktree account, there are a variety of things, including links to our most recent sorry, drawing a blank, our most recent newsletters and our Facebook page and how to book an appointment and animal intake forms and things of that nature. So we hope to hear from some of you, and we look forward to connecting again next week. Thanks everybody for listening, and stay safe in the sun and stay cool and drink lots of water. And don't forget to keep your remedies handy when things go awry.
And enjoy, which is
Enjoy.
extremely important.
Yes.
Make
Soak
the
it
best
up.
out of it.
Soak it up before
Yeah.
it's rain and snow and ice and all that other stuff that's right on its tail. Yeah, but right now we're just going to soak up summer. All right, we'll talk to you next week. Thanks, everyone.
Bye.